For millions of people across North America, the weather seems predictable and manageable. Homes are built, communities flourish, and daily life unfolds with the assumption that nature will remain within familiar boundaries. But beneath that sense of security, atmospheric forces are shifting. Climate patterns are intensifying, storm systems are growing more violent, and extreme events are becoming the new normal. In this countdown, we explore the top 10 regions in North America most exposed to extreme weather, ranked from the least vulnerable to the most dangerous. We will examine where these places are located, what hazards threaten them, how often disasters strike, and what the future holds as climate change accelerates. These regions reveal how fragile modern life can be when nature unleashes its full fury. By the end of this video, you will discover coastal zones where hurricanes reshape entire cities, deserts where record heat is making human habitation unsustainable, and mountain regions where catastrophic flooding arrives with little warning. Let's begin. The Colorado Front Range, stretching from Denver through Boulder to Fort Collins, is not where most people expect to find extreme weather danger at the top of any list. Yet in December 2021, the Marshall Fire exploded through suburban neighborhoods near Boulder, destroying nearly 1,000 homes within hours and becoming the most destructive wildfire in Colorado history. Unlike traditional summer wildfires, this conflagration erupted in winter, driven by hurricane-force downslope winds exceeding 100 miles per hour and abnormally dry conditions created by climate change. The fire demonstrated that wildfire season no longer has boundaries. Disasters can strike any month when conditions align. Today, rapid population growth continues pushing development deeper into the wildland-urban interface, where homes meet combustible vegetation. The region also sees frequent severe thunderstorms that produce hail ranging from baseball size to softball size, causing billions in property damage annually. Flash floods roar down mountain canyons with little warning, and extreme temperature swings can bring record heat one day and blizzards the next. The Front Range earns the 10th spot because, while major disasters are not constant, the convergence of multiple extreme weather threats, including wildfires, hail, flooding, and temperature extremes, creates persistent vulnerability in this rapidly growing region. Number 9. Central Texas Hill Country. Stretching across the Austin and San Antonio metropolitan areas, Central Texas appears peaceful, with rolling hills, clear rivers, and vibrant cities. But this landscape conceals one of North America's deadliest flash flood zones. In June 2025, catastrophic flash floods tore through the hill country, killing at least 138 people and causing widespread destruction in one of the deadliest flood events in state history. The region's limestone geology and steep terrain create ideal conditions for rapid runoff. Rainfall that elsewhere might soak into soil here becomes raging torrents within minutes. Texas leads all states with an average of 126 tornadoes each year, many striking Central Texas. Extreme heat regularly pushes temperatures above 105 degrees Fahrenheit in summer, and the region swings between devastating droughts that can last years and sudden flood disasters. Population growth in Austin has exploded, placing hundreds of thousands more people in flood-prone creek corridors. While individual events may be separated by years, the variety and intensity of hazards make Central Texas the 9th most dangerous region for extreme weather. Place number 8, Pacific Northwest forests. The forests of Oregon, Washington, and Northern California have long been defined by rain, lush evergreen landscapes soaked by winter storms. But climate change is rewriting this script, transforming one of Earth's wettest regions into a tinderbox. Wildfires, once rare in these moist forests, are now regular occurrences. The 2020 Labor Day fires consumed over 1 million acres in Oregon alone, destroying entire towns and blanketing cities in toxic smoke for weeks. What were once fireproof forests, too wet to burn, are now experiencing catastrophic fire seasons as prolonged droughts dry out vegetation accumulated over centuries. The Pacific Northwest also faces the opposite extreme: atmospheric rivers, narrow corridors of intense moisture that can dump months of rain in days. These storms trigger devastating floods and landslides. The region swings between dangerous extremes: severe drought creating wildfire conditions, then torrential rains causing floods. Heat waves now reach temperatures once unthinkable this far north. In June 2021, Portland hit 116 degrees Fahrenheit, killing hundreds across the region in a place where air conditioning is uncommon. The whiplash between extremes places the Pacific Northwest at number 8. Number 7, the Florida Peninsula. Florida's peninsula juts into the Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico like a target, making it vulnerable from every direction. The state has been struck by more hurricanes than any other, over 125 since records began. Hurricane Ian in 2022 generated over 150,000 insurance claims, and the destruction was catastrophic. Florida is also America's lightning capital, and it experiences more thunderstorms than any other state. While tornadoes here are typically weaker than Great Plains twisters, they still cause significant damage. The Florida Keys average only 3 feet above sea level, with projections showing 14 to 18 inches of sea level rise by 2040. King tides already flood streets in Miami Beach every month. Unlike other coastal areas, South Florida's porous limestone geology allows salt water to seep up from below, rendering traditional seawalls useless. As the ocean rises, freshwater supplies become contaminated. Extreme heat and humidity combine to create dangerous conditions during power outages after storms. Florida's massive population, over 22 million people, and its extensive coastline place it at number 7. The hazards are constant, the exposure is total, and hurricanes will keep coming. Place number 6, Mid-Atlantic Coast. From Virginia through Maryland and Delaware to southern New Jersey, the Mid-Atlantic Coast faces a slow-motion disaster. The land is sinking while the sea is rising. This double assault creates one of North America's fastest-changing coastlines. Hampton Roads, Virginia experiences the highest rate of relative sea level rise on the Atlantic coast. Since 1950, waters have risen up to 14 inches, and the rate is accelerating, now climbing as much as 1 inch every 4 years. But sea level rise is only half the problem. The land itself is subsiding. In some areas, the ground is sinking faster than the ocean is rising. The region experienced 17 high tide flood days during the meteorological year from 2023 to 2024, more than double the previous year. Atlantic City recorded 26 days of flooding, and these are sunny day floods occurring without storms. By 2050, NOAA projects the Mid-Atlantic will face 30 or more flood days annually. Maryland has budgeted approximately $3 billion for sea level rise adaptation, ranking 4th nationally in vulnerability. Norfolk hosts the world's largest naval station, making this not just an economic crisis but a strategic one. The relentless, accelerating nature of sea level rise and subsidence places the Mid-Atlantic coast at number 6. Place number 5, Southern Appalachia. Western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, and southwest Virginia are mountain regions hundreds of miles from the coast. Yet in September 2024, Hurricane Helene proved that hurricanes do not need an ocean to kill. The storm dropped over 30 inches of rain in some locations, producing the deadliest inland flooding event in modern Appalachian history. More than 200 people died, most in North Carolina. The Pigeon River crested at least 5 feet above its previous record. Entire communities were swept away. For context, an 8.4-inch rainfall over 3 days in Asheville is considered a 1 in 1,000 year event. Helene delivered 3 times that amount. The region's topography creates a perfect trap. Steep valleys concentrate runoff into narrow channels, and most residents live directly beside rivers and streams, with no surrounding flat land. Historic logging and mining reduced the landscape's ability to absorb rainfall. This was the second 1 in 1,000-year flood to devastate Appalachia in 2 years. Eastern Kentucky suffered catastrophic flooding in 2022. Climate models show that extreme rainfall events in Appalachia are becoming more frequent and more intense as warming oceans supercharge storms. Southern Appalachia ranks 5th because tropical remnants consistently produce catastrophic flooding in terrain that magnifies the destruction. Arizona, southern Nevada, and southern New Mexico are experiencing the worst mega drought in 1,200 years. What was already one of Earth's harshest climates is becoming genuinely uninhabitable for much of the year. Phoenix recorded nearly 70 days above 110 degrees Fahrenheit in 2024, shattering all previous records. The city confirmed 466 heat-related deaths, with another 191 under investigation, likely matching or exceeding the 2023 record of 645 heat deaths. Starting in August 2024, Phoenix endured a 131-day dry streak with zero measurable rain. Climate change is responsible for at least 40% of the decline in Colorado River water supplies. Lake Mead and Lake Powell, reservoirs supplying water to 40 million people, stand at historic lows. The 2024 monsoon season delivered only 30% of normal rainfall. By 2060, published projections suggest Phoenix could become one of the continent's most uninhabitable places because of extreme heat and water scarcity. The Southwest earns fourth place because the hazards are not occasional disasters. They are permanent conditions intensifying every year. This is not weather. This is climate collapse in real time. Place number 3, Tornado Alley. Oklahoma, Kansas, northern Texas, and Nebraska form the heart of Tornado Alley, the most tornado-prone region on Earth. In 2024, the United States recorded at least 1,796 confirmed tornadoes, the second most active season on record. Oklahoma alone experienced 152 tornadoes, shattering its previous record. Between April 26th and May 26th, 2024, nearly 700 tornadoes touched down across the nation. The Storm Prediction Center issued rare high-risk warnings, the highest threat level for central Oklahoma and southern Kansas. Some tornadoes remained on the ground for 45 minutes to an hour, carving paths of total destruction through towns. Oklahoma's Cleveland County has more tornadoes per square mile than anywhere else in the world. Yet building codes in Tornado Alley remain weaker than those in hurricane-prone Florida. After repeated devastation, Moore, Oklahoma only strengthened building requirements in 2014. Tornado Alley also suffers from baseball to softball-sized hail, destructive straight-line winds, and flash flooding. The region places third because violent tornadoes strike regularly. Forecasting provides only minutes of warning, and the storms are becoming more frequent and intense. Number 2, Southern California. Los Angeles, San Diego, and the Inland Empire face a perfect storm of extreme weather hazards, intensified by climate change. In January 2025, the Palisades and Eaton fires erupted, becoming the most destructive wildfires in California history. The fires consumed neighborhoods in hours, driven by unprecedented January fire conditions, extreme Santa Ana winds, record low vegetation moisture following the warmest summer on record, and an exceptionally dry fall. California has seen 24% of its Forest Service land burned, while only 3% received fuel reduction treatments. The wildland-urban interface expanded by nearly 240,000 homes from 2010 to 2020, placing more people directly in fire's path. Los Angeles County's majority is classified as having very high or moderate wildfire hazard potential, with nearly 1/3 of residences in wildland-urban interface zones. Southern California also endures prolonged droughts, extreme heat waves, and Santa Ana wind events that transform the landscape into a convection oven. California accounts for 60% of all jobs in high and very high wildfire hazard areas across the western United States, 1.7 million positions at risk. Southern California ranks second because wildfire has become a year-round threat. Population density in hazard zones is astronomical, and climate change is making conditions worse every year. The question is not if catastrophic fires will strike, but when. Place number 1, the Gulf Coast, most dangerous extreme weather zone. At the top of this list is the Gulf Coast, which includes Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, and the Florida Panhandle. This is North America's most hurricane-prone region, and the hazards are not theoretical. They are constant, catastrophic, and getting worse. Florida alone has experienced over 125 hurricane landfalls since records began, followed by Texas and Louisiana. The Gulf's wide, shallow, continental shelf amplifies storm surge. Major hurricanes can push 20-foot walls of water ashore. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina killed over 1,500 people and caused $186 billion in damages. More than 165,000 flood insurance claims were filed after Katrina and Rita, exceeding the combined total from the previous 35 years. More than 7,000 square miles of the Gulf Coast, including Houston and New Orleans, lie only 4 feet above current sea level. Approximately 80% of New Orleans sits below sea level. Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama show the lowest resilience scores to natural hazards in the region. The Gulf Coast also suffers from extreme heat, humidity, flooding rains, coastal erosion, and land subsidence. Climate change is intensifying hurricanes. Warmer oceans fuel stronger storms, sea level rise amplifies storm surge, and rapid intensification gives less warning time. Hurricanes return every year, communities rebuild, and then storms destroy them again. The cycle is relentless. The Gulf Coast is the most dangerous extreme weather zone in North America because the hazards are frequent, the population is massive, the infrastructure is vulnerable, and every hurricane season brings the threat of catastrophic destruction. From collapsing coastlines to deserts turning uninhabitable, from tornado-ravaged plains to mountain valleys drowned in flash floods, these regions reveal the true power of extreme weather in an era of climate change. The atmosphere is not stable. It is shifting, intensifying, and unleashing forces that threaten millions of lives. If this video changed how you see the skies above you, continue the journey with our next episode, where we explore the most destructive natural disasters in recorded history and how they reshaped entire civilizations. Because understanding climate risk is the first step toward surviving the next time nature strikes back.